Thank you, Judge, and we find ourselves standing together again, but instead of this being hurricane season, welcome to the Valentine's Day situation. So it's a fantastic way to show some love. But thank you for your leadership, and let me just ditto everything that you have said for us. The critical period, of course, will be Sunday night through Tuesday. So listening to the National Weather Report, and I know Jeff Lina can further elaborate on it. On Monday, situation could be, 14 degrees on Monday morning with a chill factor of 4. And then 7 degrees on Monday with a chill factor of 4. And on Tuesday morning, 14 degrees with a chill factor with a wind chill factor of 2. That's cold, and it has been 30 years since we've had those type of temperatures. So we're going to be focusing on Sunday night, all the way through Tuesday. Let me just start off by saying that for city employees, all employees working remotely under emergency telecommuting programs will continue their normal work schedule, working remotely. And then with respect to Tier 3, non-essential employees, and Tier 2 will not report to work on Monday, February the 15th, and Tuesday, February the 16th, but will plan to return to work on Wednesday, February the 17th. So the employees for the city of Houston that are scheduled to report will be Tier 1. But Tier 2 and Tier 3 will not report Monday and Tuesday. And then I'm asking people in the city of Houston as a whole to please stay off the roads, starting Sunday night through Tuesday. Unless it is a dire, supercritical situation, I'm going to ask you to stay off the road. And certainly I'm standing here with Chief Pena with the fire department. He can also further elaborate on the importance of you staying off the roads. And for non-emergency matters, for example, medical situations, to stay away from the hospitals for non-emergencies type of situations. And then standing here with Director Carol Haddock from Public Works, and they will be supplementing the efforts of TxDOT on city roads with about 100 dump trucks. They'll start their pre-treating of roads and overpasses in the city of Houston on Saturday, and then they will do the heavy mix, icing, de-icing, and mixing once things get better, where it becomes more effective. But there'll be about 100 dump trucks out, and Director Haddock can speak more specifically to that if you have any questions with respect to public works. But we'll be working in close collaboration with TxDOT. Let me just go over just a few things. I too want to focus on what Judge had to say. I call it the 4 Ps, people, pets, plants, and pipes, okay? With respect to people, just like the county, we'll be supplementing the county's efforts, Judge, for people, individuals, especially homeless population that's on the street. We will start, in fact, we've already started reaching out to them through our homeless outreach team with HPD, and then work with the Homeless Coalition. We'll open up I call it a warming shelter center, specifically for our homeless population. That will open up on Sunday at 2 at the George R. Brown. We will use the George R. Brown for the homeless population, and Judge, to the extent homeless individuals, we certainly open that up, extend that as well to the county. We expect to our homeless, people who are on the streets. And Metro, Yellow Cab, and others will be assisting in reaching out to that homeless population to encourage them to come out of the weather, and that we're prepared to stand that up for 72 hours. Because this storm has been across the state, I know Red Cross is thin, and so that warming center at the George R. Brown will be staffed by City of Houston employees. And because we don't want them going back and forth during that 72 hours, we will be putting them up at one of the hotels, the staff downtown. But that center will be primarily for our homeless population. So we want to get them off the streets. Just like the county, the testing centers and the vaccination centers will be closed at the City of Houston Health Department on Monday and Tuesday. They will be closed. And for those who are scheduled for appointments on those days, you will be notified and you will be rescheduled, and we'll plan to do that as quickly as possible. Metro, of course, they will be assisting in us transporting people who are homeless off the streets to the George R. Brown. But in terms of their services, they will suspend all services beginning on Monday through Tuesday, or until conditions improve. And this includes bus, rail, and Metro Lift, HOV, and HOT lanes. So that's with regards to Metro. With regards to solid waste, the tentative plans, Monday's garbage and recycling collection will be delayed due to winter weather currently affecting the city. And then we will move very quickly to make up those days. Houston Police Department, it will become fully operational as of, I believe, Sunday, and they will continue until this event has passed. Judge spoke on Centerpoint. Let me just make just a couple of notes there. In order to kind of keep the system from being overloaded, sometimes there's a tendency to turn your temp up to 76, 78 degrees, just to be real warm. Going to ask that you kind of lower it a little bit, maybe down to 72 or so, to keep the system from being overloaded so that we all won't be impacted. So if you're in a home, and thank God for that, and if your heating is working, thank God for that. Instead of it being at 76, 78, lower it a little bit, down to 72, for example, for everyone, so we don't overload the system. And then if there are any down power lines, please stay away from down power lines. Do not touch those down power lines, and that will be very much appreciated. And then with respect to the airports, let me just say that they're focusing on the roads leading to and from the airports. Want to make sure that there's no icing or dangerous, treacherous situations on that end. They're focusing on the road, the runways, because they are treating them just like the roads on our streets, so that there's no problems with the planes coming in and out. And then the terminals. They did want me to make clear for people, please check in with your airlines before going to the airport. And specifically, that's because, for example, if there are delays, there is limited capacity at the airports to serve as shelters or holding places. In the past, your plane didn't show or was delayed, and you just stayed there at the airport. Bear in mind, we're having to deal with all of these conditions, factoring in COVID as well. So please check in with your airlines before going to the airports on Sunday evening, Monday, as well as Tuesday. And Judge, I think that covers the elements that I wanted to mention, but I cannot underscore the importance of people staying off the roads Sunday night, Monday, and Tuesday. Please stay off the roads unless it's a dire emergency. And if by chance you need to be on the road, please drive very carefully and recognize it's even more treacherous at night when you cannot see. I agree, I'm a native Houstonian. I have never learned how to drive on ice. Never. Even my 3 years on the East Coast. One time was enough, I gave that up. Houstonians, people in the area, that's not what we do, okay? So bearing that in mind, please stay off the road. You'll be helping all of us in keeping everyone safe. And then lastly, what I would say, coming up in a family where we relied heavily on space heaters, and you really want to be warm, be very, very careful with the space heaters. Keep things away from that space heaters, close to curtains and other things, materials that are flammable. Be very careful with the space heaters. Be very careful, for example, with trying to use your stove as a way of warming yourself up. Carbon monoxide and things of that nature. Be very careful. Be very careful bringing in barbecue pits close to your home and using those things as heaters. I say all of those things because anecdotally, I'm familiar with all of them. So please, please be very careful. We don't need any unnecessary fires. And then above all, even with our utilizing the shelter, the George R. Brown, we will be exercising all of the COVID protocols, providing people with the mask, keeping people socially distanced. All of those things still apply. So thank you, Judge, very much.